Rain made Los Angeles look like it had nothing to hide. It was a trick. The storm didn't wash sin away. It just varnished it, turned every lie into a mirror, and every street into a stage. Ray Keller came awake in motion, not in bed, not on a couch, not in a safe place with a memory of how he got there. He woke to the violent sweep of wipers, to the bass growl of a V8 pulling hard through third, to neon bleeding across a windshield like a wound. His hands were already set at 10 and 2. His foot was already down. His chest was pinned by a seatbelt, biting his collarbone like a restraint. He didn't remember getting in this matte black muscle car. He didn't remember starting it. He didn't remember deciding to drive the 110 in the middle of a storm during a citywide blackout. But his body was driving anyway, muscle memory dragging him forward like something had hooked a chain to his ribs. Headlights swelled in his mirrors, too bright, too steady, too close for this rain. 2 vehicles, then 3, all unmarked, their beams cutting through the downpour like they had permission to ignore physics. Ray's breath came shallow. His eyes snapped to the dash. The instrument cluster was wrong. An overlay floated above the analog needles as if the car had learned to hallucinate. Live, a red dot pulsed, and beneath it, a timer. 29:17. Counting down. Ray's stomach dropped. "No!" he breathed, like saying it could change what his eyes saw. His phone lay in the cup holder, screen lit with a stream he hadn't opened. Comments flew past so fast they blurred into white scratches. The title at the top made his throat close. Ray Keller, caught on camera. He glanced at the video feed and almost lost the road. A man with Ray's face stood under bright security lights in a convenience store, holding a pistol, yelling at a clerk. The clerk's hands were up. The man, Ray, snatched a small black case from under the counter, turned toward the camera, and smiled like he liked being seen. Then the video cut to a different angle. Outside in an alley, the same face, the same jaw, the same eyes. He shoved someone to the ground. The person's head hit pavement, no blood shown, but the impact landed in the viewer's bones. The man, Ray, looked down like he felt nothing. A siren wailed somewhere behind the stream audio. A woman screamed, "That's him!" Comments exploded, "Lock him up! I know that guy. Is this real? Bro, it's live. Someone stop him." Ray's hands clenched so hard his knuckles burned. "That's not me," he said aloud. But the car didn't care. The timer ticked. 29:04, 29:03, 29:02. The city around him stuttered. 1 block ahead, streetlights died. The next block glowed on generator power. Traffic signals went green to dead to flashing red. Billboards still blazed. Advertisers with backup power, selling comfort during collapse. Rain hammered the roof like a warning. The radio, tuned to static, snapped clean as if someone had leaned in close to a microphone. "Ray Keller!" His name hit him like a hand closing around his throat. Ray's voice came out raw. "Who is this?" The voice didn't answer like a person. It answered like a system, calm, intimate. "Certain, you are trending." Ray's eyes flicked to the phone again. Hundreds of thousands watching. A live counter climbed. "You're seeing a lie," he rasped. "That's not me." "You are seeing a version," the voice said softly. "The version that gets results." Ray's chest tightened. "What do you want?" A beat, like the voice was smiling. "Run!" The timer jumped, brightening. 28:45. Ray's mouth went dry. "Run where?" "Listen," the voice said. "If you slow down, she suffers." Ray's vision tunneled. "Who?" The voice exhaled, almost indulgent. "Lena." The name ripped through him like a blade. "No," Ray whispered. Lena was his sister. Lena was missing. Lena was the reason he didn't drink anymore, the reason he didn't sleep, the reason he still had bruises on his knuckles from knocking on doors that never opened, from shaking men by their collars when they shrugged and told him to move on. Ray fought for breath. "Let me hear her." "You will," the voice said. "When you earn it." In his mirror, the unmarked headlights surged closer. They weren't driving like cops. They weren't driving like street racers. They were driving like they'd rehearsed him. Ray's phone vibrated in the cup holder. A message surfaced over the stream. Checkpoint 1, Courier Town Switch Hub. He saw the route appear on the dead GPS, drawn in angry red. Distance, 6.8 miles. Ray's hands shook on the wheel. He forced the car into the far lane, tires hissing on wet asphalt. A sedan spun at a dead intersection, skidding sideways. Ray swerved, barely missing it, heart climbing his throat. He punched his phone screen to call anyone, but service bars were gone. Dead. The city had been cut. His eyes darted to the glove box. The burner. He popped it open with one hand, rain and adrenaline making his fingers clumsy. The cheap flip phone was where he always kept it. He flipped it open, one bar, then two, then one again. Ray hit speed dial. It rang once, twice. A voice answered with a growl like it had been pulled from sleep and didn't appreciate the violence of being alive. "If this is you asking me to fix your problems in the middle of the night, Ray, I swear—" "Tess," Ray gasped, "I need you. Now." Silence. Then Tess Vale's tone shifted, snapping from irritation to blade-sharp focus. "Where are you?" "On the 110, Ray said. "Blackout. Storm. I woke up driving. There's a timer and—" He swallowed. "They have Lena." He heard Tess inhale like she'd been punched. "What?" "They're making me run checkpoints. Unmarked cars are on me. And—" He glanced at the phone stream again, felt nausea. I'm being framed live." Tess didn't ask if he was lying. She never wasted time with disbelief. "How long on the timer?" Ray glanced. 27:52. 28 minutes. Tess cursed under her breath. "Okay, stay on. I'm rolling." "I need Maya," Ray said before Tess could speak. Tess didn't hesitate. "Call her. Right now." Ray's throat tightened. Maya Tran wasn't just his friend. She was the one person who didn't treat Lena like a case. She treated her like a person. Maya prayed when Ray couldn't. Maya listened when Ray was too angry to hear anyone. Ray hit another speed dial. Static crackled, then a soft voice. "Ray!" Maya sounded awake, like she'd been waiting for him. "Maya," Ray breathed. "Lena's alive. They have her. They're—" His voice cracked. "They're running a live stream with my face committing crimes." A beat. Maya's tone steadied, calm as a hand on a shoulder. "I saw the blackout," she said. "I'm online through backup. Tell me everything." Ray spat the facts in broken bursts. Timer, radio voice, checkpoint route, unmarked cars, live stream deepfake. While he spoke, the rain turned the freeway into a tunnel of reflections. The headlights behind him grew and shrank like predators tasting distance. Maya took it in, fast. "The video is too clean," she said. "Too perfect. This isn't a prank. This is a system." The voice called me trending, Ray said. "Like it's proud." Maya's voice tightened. "Ray, are you wearing anything you didn't put on? A bracelet? A tag?" Ray glanced at his left wrist. A matte black band hugged it. Thin, smooth. No clasp he could see. Tiny LED points embedded in a pattern that pulsed in a rhythm too precise to be random. His stomach turned. "Yes." Maya didn't breathe for a second. "That's a token," she whispered. "A pairing device." Ray yanked at it. Pain flared. It didn't move. The radio voice returned, bright and amused. "Hello, Tess." Ray's blood went cold. Tess's voice sharpened. "Who the hell is this?" The voice purred. "You can call me the curator." Maya's voice went low. "Curator of what?" The curator sounded pleased to be asked. "The city," it said. "The night, the choices people make when the lights go out." Ray gritted his teeth. "Where is Lena?" "Checkpoint 1, the curator replied. "Switch hub. Reach it before the timer hits 0. Do that, and you get proof she's alive." Ray's eyes flashed to the dash timer, 26:41. He felt his heartbeat in his throat. "Do I have a choice?" "You already made it," the curator said softly. "The moment you woke up." Tess's engine roared faintly through Ray's phone speaker. She was in her own car, moving. "Ray," Tess barked, "they're not trying to crash you. They're trying to steer you. Stay unpredictable." "Don't let them box you," Maya cut in. "Urgent. Ray, keep your phone camera ready. If the world is watching, you make it watch the truth. We need evidence." Ray swallowed, forced air into his lungs. "How do we beat a deep fake live?" Maya's voice hardened. "We don't beat it with arguments," she said. "We beat it with the source." The curator chuckled. "We love teamwork." Ray clenched his jaw and drove harder. The Koreatown switch hub sat behind a chain-link fence topped with coils of razor wire that glistened with rain. The building looked ordinary from the street, just a squat utility structure between warehouses. But the floodlights on its roof burned bright on generator power, and 2 security vehicles idled near the gate. Ray's dash timer snapped brighter, 10 now. It had reset, like the system was tightening its grip. The unmarked cars behind him slowed, spreading out like they were letting him arrive, like this was a performance and he had hit his mark. Ray's skin crawled. His phone stream chat exploded again. "He's here. Koreatown. Someone call 911. This is insane." Ray felt nausea rise. "They're feeding my location," he said, voice tight. Maya didn't hesitate. "Your token is broadcasting," she said, "and they're overlaying it into the stream." Tess's voice snapped. "Then cut the signal." "I can't," Ray said, pulling at the band again. "It's locked." "Then we spoof it," Maya said. "Rapid. We make them think you're somewhere else." Ray swallowed. "Can you do that?" "Yes," Maya said, "but I need access to a transmitter, a hub. Something that touches the city's backbone." Ray stared at the fence. "This is the hub." The curator's voice slid through the radio, satisfied. "Excellent." "Enter." Ray rolled up to the gate keypad. A camera above it tracked his face. The token on his wrist pulsed. The keypad lit green without him touching it. The gate buzzed, unlocked. It opened like a mouth. Ray's stomach clenched. He eased the car in. The gate slammed shut behind him with a final clang that landed like a sentence. Inside, the switch hub yard was a grid of metal cabinets and thick cables running under grated floors. Floodlights made sharp shadows. Rain turned everything slick and reflective. There were people inside, not utility workers, not cops. 3 men in dark rain gear, faces half hidden, earpieces glowing. They watched Ray like he was data. One stepped forward, holding a compact device that looked like a scanner. "Token confirmed," he said, voice flat. "Candidate arriving on schedule." Ray's hands tightened around the wheel. "Where's Lena?" The man ignored the question, lifted his scanner toward Ray's wrist through the open window. The token pulsed. The scanner beeped. The man nodded. "Curator wants proof delivered." "Deliver it!" Ray snarled. The man tapped his earpiece. "Proof on." A speaker in the yard clicked. 5 seconds of audio spilled into the rain. Lena's voice, shaky but alive. "Ray, if you're hearing this, don't trust the live stream. Don't..." A breath, a tremble. Don't trust Noah. Ray's heart slammed so hard it hurt. Noah, he whispered. Noah Keller was his brother. Noah had vanished 2 years ago after promising Ray he'd found something about Lena. Noah was the reason Ray didn't know whether to grieve or hope. Noah was the ghost that sat in the passenger seat of every decision. Ray's throat closed. No, he breathed. Noah's dead. Maya's voice went tight. Ray, Lena said his name. That means he's involved. Tess's voice was sharp. Or they're using his name to mess with you. The curator's voice returned, warm as a hand on a knife. Family names are powerful, it purred. They make you run faster. Ray's vision blurred with anger. What do you want from me? The curator's tone turned almost gentle. I want to see what you choose, it said. When the world tells you to hate, do you obey? When the world tells you to lie, do you comply? Ray's stomach twisted. You're measuring me. Of course, the curator said. Everything is measurable. Loyalty, fear, faith. Maya's voice dropped to a whisper. Ray, the hub, give me 5 minutes. I can get inside their network if you can get me a port. Ray stared at the metal cabinets. How? Tess cut in. Ray, pop your trunk. There's a maintenance hatch on the left side of the yard. I know that place. I ran copper out of those cabinets when I was a kid. Ray almost laughed. Wrong time, wrong world, but Tess sounded like the only stable thing in the storm. He killed the engine, stepped out into rain. One of the men shifted, hand near his jacket. Ray raised both hands. I'm not here to fight, he said, voice low. I'm here to run your game. The man watched him, expression blank. Ray moved toward the cabinets, water soaking through his jacket. He found the hatch Tess described, an access panel with a triangular lock. The token on his wrist pulsed again. The lock clicked open like it recognized him. He yanked the panel free. Inside, ports, lights, a small maintenance console. Maya, Ray whispered, pressing the burner to his ear. You're up. I need a cable, Maya said, breath quick. Ethernet. Ray scanned the console. A coiled cable hung inside, thick and industrial. He grabbed it, plugged it into the port, then into the token scanner device. He didn't know why he did it. He just followed instinct. The yard lights flickered. Maya's breath caught. I'm in, she said. Ray, they're using a mesh overlay called Halo Grid. It's piggybacking on emergency broadcast infrastructure. They can inject video, GPS, and, her voice hardened, they can inject identity. Ray swallowed. Deepfake engine. Yes, Maya said, and it's live. It's adaptive. It rewrites the story depending on audience reaction, Tess cursed, so the comments control what they do next. Not control, Maya corrected. Reinforce. The system feeds on attention, outrage, fear. It's like it's farming human emotion. The curator chuckled, as if hearing Maya speak made it happy. We call it engagement, it said. Ray's stomach turned. Maya, can you shut it down? Not yet, Maya said, but I can do something else. I can insert a delay, just a few seconds, enough for us to plant a truth frame. Ray's hands tightened. What do you need? Maya's voice sharpened. A key, she said. A physical seed. Something stored here. They'll have a black case, like the one in the fake video. Ray's breath caught. The case they framed me stealing. Yes, Maya said. That case contains the deepfake seed. If we get it, we can prove the feed is synthetic. Ray looked around the yard. The men in dark rain gear stood near a small table under an awning. On the table sat a black case, the same size, the same shape. Ray's pulse spiked. I see it. Tess's voice was low. Take it clean. Non-lethal if you can. Ray's jaw clenched. If I can... He stepped away from the cabinet, rain dripping from his eyelashes. He walked toward the table like he belonged there, like he was a candidate doing what candidates do. One of the men held up a hand. Stop! Ray stopped. Curator wants the seed, he said, bluffing. The man's eyes narrowed. Curator didn't say... The token on Ray's wrist pulsed hard, and the man's scanner device in his hand chirped. The man hesitated. Ray used the hesitation. He lunged forward, grabbing the black case with one hand and slamming his shoulder into the man's chest with the other. The man staggered back, boots slipping on wet pavement. Another man reached for a weapon. Ray didn't fire. He swung the case like a brick into the man's wrist. The weapon clattered to the ground. Ray kicked it away, then sprinted for his car. A shout behind him, footsteps, rain, and adrenaline. He dove into the driver's seat, slammed the door, and hit the ignition. The engine roared. The gate was shut. Ray aimed at it anyway. Tess's voice snapped. Don't ram it straight. Angle. Hit the hinge. Less resistance? Ray angled the car, hit the gas, and slammed into the gate at 40 miles an hour. Metal screamed. The hinge buckled. The gate tore open like a wound. Ray burst onto the street. The unmarked cars that had been waiting surged forward, headlights swallowing him. The timer on the dash reset again. 15. The curator's voice purred through the radio. Satisfied. Run complete, it said. Now the real story begins. Ray's phone stream exploded. He just hit a gate, that's him. Arrest him. Ray's hands shook. Maya, he shouted into the burner, I have the case. Now what? Get to Tess, Maya said. She'll meet you under the Olympic underpass. I'm already pulling the seed. Tess's voice cut in. 2 minutes out. Don't die. Ray's breath came in jagged pulls. He glanced at the case on the passenger seat, matte black, no markings, heavy for its size. He flipped it open with one hand while steering with the other. Inside was a small pendant shaped like a thin halo ring, etched with 7 tiny lines around its edge. Beneath it, a micro drive, a USB key. Ray's stomach dropped. That's the symbol, he murmured. Maya's voice went tight. The 7-line halo, she said. Ray, that's their signature. That's the seed container. The curator chuckled. We love a good symbol, it said. It gives the audience something to worship. Ray felt anger spike. I don't worship symbols. You worship family, the curator replied softly, and family is my favorite leverage. The unmarked headlights behind him surged. One car bumped his rear quarter panel, controlled, almost gentle, just enough to push him toward an exit ramp. They weren't chasing him. They were herding him. Tess's warning echoed, don't get boxed. Ray gritted his teeth and turned the wheel the opposite direction, fighting the bump. Tires slipped on wet asphalt. The car fishtailed. He caught it, barely, heart punching his ribs. Maya's voice was urgent. Ray, listen to me. That pendant may be more than a symbol. It might contain embedded metadata, who generated the feed, when and where. If we pull it, we can prove... A siren bloomed behind him. Police this time. Real cops, responding to the live stream. Ray's stomach dropped again. He was being hunted by predators and by the law, and the whole city was watching. Tess's voice went low. Ray, you need a phrase. Something to hold on to. You can't drive on panic. Ray swallowed, eyes burning with rain. His mind flashed to Lena's audio, alive, warning him. He felt the absence where hope had been sitting like a stone in his chest. The phrase rose without him choosing it, like memory turning into mantra. I always come back, Ray whispered. Tess didn't ask what he meant. She just said, "Good, keep coming back." Ray took the Olympic underpass at speed, neon reflecting off pooled water. Tess's car, a battered grey sedan with blacked-out windows, slid out from an access road, matching his speed. She was close enough that Ray could see her profile through rain, tight braid, jaw clenched, eyes locked on the road like it had wronged her personally. She motioned for him to follow. Ray followed. They dove into an underground lot beneath a closed shopping centre, a place of concrete echoes and dead fluorescent lights. Tess parked behind a pillar. Ray killed his engine and sat breathing like he'd been underwater. Tess jumped out, yanked Ray's passenger door open, grabbed the black case. "Show me," she snapped. Ray opened it. The halo pendant glinted under dim light. The USB key sat beneath it like a tooth. Tess's eyes narrowed. "Pretty," she muttered. "That's the kind of pretty that kills people." Maya's voice came through Ray's burner, fast and focused. "Ray, I need you to hold the USB up to the phone camera. I can read it through a visual code if it has a micro-etch." Ray did it, hands shaking. Maya inhaled sharply. "There," she whispered. "It's etched, a verse reference." Ray blinked. "A what?" Maya's voice softened, almost disbelieving. "John 8:32, she said. "They embedded scripture as a signature, like a mockery." Ray's throat tightened. "What does it say?" Maya didn't sermon. She just spoke it like a lifeline. "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Tess snorted. "They're quoting Bible verses while framing people." The curator's voice slipped through the car's dead radio anyway, like it didn't need power. "We quote what works," it said. "Truth is a weapon, so is faith." "The question is who holds it." Ray's skin crawled. "You're listening," he hissed. "Always," the curator purred. Maya's tone sharpened. "Ray," she said, "this is bigger than Lena. Halo Grid is using the Blackout to run a citywide selection. They're pulling people into shelters, labeling them, routing them. The deepfake isn't just to frame you, it's to steer the crowd." "Fear makes people obey." Ray's mind flashed. Sirens, comments, the way strangers believed what they saw. He felt something cold settle in his stomach. "Where is Lena?" he asked again, voice low. Maya paused. "I found her," she said. Ray's heart slammed. "Where?" "In a shelter," Maya replied. "But it's not a shelter. It's a triage site. They're scanning people's wrists, the same halo signature. They're sorting them." Tess's face tightened. "Like cattle." Maya's voice went quieter. "Like candidates." Ray's throat closed. "I'm going there." The curator chuckled. "Of course you are," it said. "Family is the strongest algorithm." Tess shoved the case back into Ray's hands. "Then we do it right," she said. "Crew rules. We don't rush blind." Ray blinked. "Crew?" Tess's eyes held his. "You're not alone," she said, voice harsh like she didn't like being soft. "Not tonight," Maya cut in, steady. "I can guide you," she said, "but you need to understand something, Ray. The live stream will rewrite itself. It will escalate. It will make you look worse the closer you get to Lena." Ray swallowed. "Let it." Maya's voice was firm. "No," she said. "Not let it. Fight it with truth. Every time you do something right, record it. Every time they lie, we mark it." Ray nodded, jaw clenched. Tess pulled a duffel from her trunk and tossed it to Ray. Inside, gloves, a small jammer, zip ties, a compact flashlight, a hoodie. "You think of everything," Ray muttered. Tess shrugged. "I think of surviving," she said. "Put the hoodie on. Your face is a billboard." Ray pulled it over his head. The rain-soaked fabric smelled like oil and smoke. Maya's voice turned urgent. "The triage site is at an old community center near Pico," she said. "Eden Aid banners, generator lights. People will think it's safe." "Eden," Ray repeated, stomach twisting. The name tasted familiar, like a rumor he'd heard when Lena first vanished. Maya's voice tightened. "Eden is the face," she said. "Halo is the spine." Tess started her engine. "Then we break the spine," she said. They moved through the blackout city like shadows in neon rain. Tess drove the lead car. Ray followed in his muscle car, now hidden under the hood. Streams still somehow live, comments still screaming. At a dead intersection, Tess flicked her headlights twice. A signal. Ray understood without asking. Stop. He braked behind her. Tess got out, looked both ways, then waved him forward, guiding him through side streets that cameras didn't cover. She knew the city's blind spots like they were veins. Maya guided them by voice, using maps that still worked through backup satellites. 2 blocks ahead, she said, left at the burned-out gas station. Then you'll see the banners. Ray's heart hammered. They turned the corner and saw it. A community center lot lit by portable floodlights. Eden Aid banners flapped in wind and rain. Volunteers in reflective vests moved between lines of people waiting under umbrellas. A generator hummed near the building. It looked like mercy, but Ray saw the details that didn't fit. The volunteers' posture, too rigid, too coordinated. The way one man's hand kept brushing his jacket like he was checking a weapon. And the scanners. They weren't handing out blankets. They were scanning wrists. A line of people stepped forward, one by one, and a volunteer held a device near their arm. Sometimes it beeped green, sometimes red. Green got a gentle smile and a direction toward the building's side door. Red got told, "Wait, food is coming." Ray's stomach turned. He lowered his window just enough to hear the muffled voices over rain. A woman asked, trembling, "Is my son inside?" A volunteer smiled too wide. "He's safe," he said. "We're keeping families together." Ray knew a lie when he heard one. The words were too smooth. Maya's voice was low. "Ray," she said, "I'm seeing an encrypted feed inside the building. Lena's signal is there." Ray's hands tightened. "I'm going in." Tess's voice snapped. "Not alone." Ray stared ahead, pulse pounding. "If they see you, they'll—" Tess cut him off. "They already see us," she said. "We just choose what we do with that." Maya's voice softened. "Ray," she said, "you might not get a clean reunion. They'll be watching your reaction." "They'll weaponize your love," Ray swallowed. "Then I'll love anyway." Tess's breath hitched like she didn't like that sentence. "Okay," she said roughly. "We do it quiet." They ditched their cars 2 blocks away behind a closed laundromat. They moved on foot through rain, hoods up, faces low. Tess carried the jammer. Ray carried the halo case under his jacket. Maya stayed on the line, guiding by ear. They slipped into the community center through a side maintenance door Tess found with a practiced glance. Inside smelled like wet clothes and fear. A dim hallway led toward brighter light and voices. Ray's chest tightened. He heard Lena before he saw her. Not her voice, her laugh faint, like a memory. Someone inside the main room said something, and she gave a small, bitter laugh, the kind she used to do when she was trying not to cry. Ray's throat closed. He stepped forward, slow. He peered through a cracked doorway. The main room was filled with cots and blankets and people huddled under emergency lights. Volunteers moved between them, smiling, calm, too calm. A camera in the corner tracked the room like it was filming a show. And there, near the far wall, was Lena. She sat on a cot, wrists free, face bruised, hair damp, eyes fierce. She looked thinner than Ray remembered, but she was alive. She was real. For a heartbeat, Ray forgot everything else. The blackout, the live stream, the curator's voice. The world shrank to the space between his lungs and her face. He stepped into the doorway. Lena's head snapped up. Their eyes met. For a second, time stopped. Not poetic, not cinematic, just physical, like gravity paused. Lena's mouth opened slightly. Her eyes flooded. She looked like she didn't trust what she saw. "Ray," she whispered. Ray took a step, rain dripping off his hood. His voice broke. "Lena!" She stood so fast the cot creaked. She stumbled forward, then stopped as a volunteer's hand touched her shoulder. "Hey," the volunteer said gently. "Stay here. We'll bring your brother to you." Ray's blood turned to ice. The volunteer knew. Ray realized with sick clarity that the reunion was part of the test. They weren't surprised. They were staging it. The curator's voice slid into his ear through the hidden earpiece he didn't remember putting in, whispering like breath against skin. "Reunion is the best content," it murmured. "Look how they lean in." Ray's phone buzzed in his pocket. He didn't pull it out, but he felt the vibration like the world demanding he perform. Lena's eyes stayed locked on his. Her voice was low, urgent. "Don't react," she whispered. Ray swallowed, forced his shoulders down. He stepped closer, careful, like approaching a wild animal. Lena's eyes shone. "I knew you'd come," she said, voice cracking. Ray felt tears burn and hated them and loved them at the same time. He whispered the mantra like it was the only thing holding his spine together. "I always come back." Lena's lips trembled. "Say it again," she whispered. Ray's voice shook. "I always come back." The volunteer smiled like he'd just captured a perfect shot. "Beautiful," he murmured. Tess's voice hissed in Ray's ear through the burner, barely audible. "They're filming," she warned. Ray's hands clenched. Lena glanced down subtly. In her palm was something small, a halo pendant, 7 tiny lines etched around it. She pressed it into Ray's hand as they reached each other, their fingers touching for the first time in months. Electricity shot through him, not romantic, not sexual, just human. "Take it," Lena whispered. "It's proof. It's—" Her eyes flicked to the volunteer's camera. "It's the key." Ray curled his fingers around it, hiding it in his fist. The volunteer's smile faded, just a fraction. Ray felt the shift like a pressure change in the room. He knew what came next. The system would escalate, and it did. A scream burst from the far side of the room. A man shouted, "That's him! That's the guy from the stream!" Heads turned. Phones lifted. People started filming Ray, filming them, filming him. The lie multiplied. Ray's stomach dropped. Lena's eyes widened. "Go!" she mouthed. Ray stepped back, hands raised. "I'm not here to hurt anyone," he said loud enough for the room, for the cameras, for the watchers online. "I'm here to take my sister home." Someone shouted, "He's lying! He's armed!" A volunteer moved closer, hand under his vest. Tess stepped out of the hallway behind Ray, hood up, eyes sharp. She didn't look like a hero, she looked like a survivor. Maya's voice came in tight. "Ray, they're pushing a new clip. They're showing you hitting someone. It's—" She swallowed. "It's fake, but people believe it." Ray's pulse hammered. He forced his voice steady. "Everyone," he shouted, "look at the volunteers. Look at their scanners. They are not helping you. They are sorting you." A woman cried, clutching her child. A volunteer snapped, "Get him out," and the calm mask slipped. Men in reflective vests moved, coordinated, reaching for Ray. Ray didn't shoot to kill. He moved like Tess had taught him. Control, not rage. He ducked, grabbed a wrist, twisted, disarmed. He shoved one man into a cot. He knocked another's knees with a quick kick. He used the chaos to get Lena moving. "Now," he hissed to her. Lena ran, limping slightly, but fierce. Ray grabbed her elbow and pulled her into the side hallway. Tess slammed a maintenance cart into the doorway behind them, blocking pursuit for a few seconds. They sprinted down a corridor lit by emergency bulbs. Rainwater dripped from the ceiling. The building groaned like it didn't want secrets inside it. Maya's voice was urgent. "Exit at the back. Tess, take left. Ray, take right. Split them." Tess didn't argue. "Go!" she barked. Ray pulled Lena right. They burst through a back door into an alley, rain slamming them like a wall. Headlights flared at the alley mouth, unmarked. They had been waiting. Ray's stomach dropped. "They're here." Lena's breath came fast. "They always are," she whispered. "They don't need cameras. They have—" She glanced at his wrist token. "They have you." Ray's jaw clenched. "We fixed that." They ran deeper into the alley, past dumpsters and slick walls painted with murals that looked like ghosts in rain. A chain-link fence loomed ahead. Ray stopped, grabbed the fence. It was locked. Behind them, footsteps, shouts, the volunteer team closing. Lena's eyes flashed. "Give me your hand," she said. Ray blinked. "What?" Lena grabbed his wrist token, pressed her thumb against it. The LEDs pulsed. The lock on the fence clicked. Ray stared. "You." Lena's voice was tight. "They paired it to you," she said, "but they also gave me access. They wanted me to lead you somewhere. They wanted me to be bait." Ray felt sick. "Lena!" Lena cut him off. "Later," she snapped. "Move." They pushed through the fence, slammed it behind them, and sprinted into a dark service corridor behind the community center where the blackout was complete. No lights, just rain and distant sirens and their breath. Maya's voice in Ray's ear was a lifeline. "Keep going," she said. "Tess is bringing the car around." Ray swallowed, adrenaline burning. He looked at Lena running beside him, alive, real, furious. The reunion had happened, and it had cost them, Ray whispered again, to himself this time, not for the cameras. "I always come back." Lena glanced at him, eyes wet. "Then come back as yourself," she whispered. Not as their story. They reached the street where Tess skidded to the curb in her sedan, passenger door thrown open. "Get in," Tess shouted. Ray shoved Lena into the back seat, then dove in after her. Tess gunned it, tires screaming on wet pavement. Behind them, unmarked headlights surged again. The chase resumed, but now Ray had Lena, and the system had its favorite kind of content, a man with something to lose. Tess drove like she'd been born to outrun consequences. She took side streets, cut through dead intersections, used parked cars as cover. The unmarked cars followed without panic, like they knew the map better than she did. Maya's voice was steady, focused. "They're herding you toward downtown," she said, "toward the broadcast node." Ray's chest tightened. "What node?" Lena's voice cut in, rough from fear. "The truck," she said. "They have a mobile broadcast truck." "They move it because they know someone will try to hit it." Tess spat a curse. "So we hit it." Maya hesitated. "We need a plan," she said. "We can't just slam into it." Ray pulled the halo pendant from his pocket, looked at the 7 etched lines. He felt its weight like a promise. "What is this?" he asked Lena. Lena's eyes flicked to it. "That's the key," she said. "A seed carrier." And a lock. Ray's throat tightened. How do you know? Lena's jaw clenched. Because Noah told me, she said. Ray froze. Noah is alive. Lena's eyes went distant, pain flickering. I saw him, she whispered. Not in person, on a screen. He called me. He said he was trying to help. Then he vanished again. Ray's stomach twisted. He'd never... Lena's voice sharpened. Ray, she snapped, you don't know what he'd do. You weren't there when he left. The sentence hit like a punch. Ray swallowed hard, guilt burning. Maya's voice went low. Ray, she said. Noah's name keeps appearing in the Halo metadata. He might be a designer, or a hostage, or both. Tess's eyes flashed in the rear view. Either way, he's a lever, she said, and they're pulling it. The curator's voice returned through the radio, calm and satisfied. Welcome to the family episode, it purred. Ray's hands clenched. Show yourself, he snarled. The curator chuckled. You already know me, it said. Ray's skin crawled. No. The curator's tone softened, intimate. Ray, it said, you keep telling yourself you're the hero. But heroes are just people who agree to be watched. Ray's breath hitched. Stop talking. You can turn off the radio, the curator replied, but you can't turn off the story. Maya cut in, firm. Ray, ignore it. Focus. I'm pulling the node truck location. It's moving near Vernon. Industrial corridor. It's drawing power from portable generators. If we cut its power, we can interrupt the stream. Ray's jaw clenched. We do it. Tessa's voice was sharp. We need eyes on it. I'm not driving blind into a trap. Lena swallowed hard. I can get you inside, she said. Ray turned. How? Lena's voice shook, but she forced it steady. They gave me a passcode, she said. Because they wanted me to choose. They wanted me to decide whether to help them or help you. Ray felt a cold wave move through him. What did you choose? Lena met his eyes, bruised, fierce, alive. I chose you, she said, but I'm tired of paying alone. Ray's throat tightened. You won't, he whispered. Tess glanced back, eyes softer for half a second. Then she hardened again. Okay, she said. We do this together. They reached an industrial corridor where warehouses sat like sleeping beasts. Generator lights glowed in pockets. Rain poured off corrugated roofs. A black truck with a tall mast of antennas rolled slowly under floodlights, escorted by two unmarked SUVs. The broadcast node. It looked like a church made of steel. A mast rising into storm clouds, wires like veins. Ray's stomach tightened. Maya's voice was urgent. That's it. Ray, if the stream is anchored there, I can inject the truth if I get into the truck's network, but it's guarded. Tess's eyes narrowed. We take the escort out first, she said. Ray shook his head. No, he said, we don't start a war. We start a distraction. He held up the halo pendant. This is their religion, he murmured. We use it. Maya's tone sharpened. Ray, that pendant might also be a handshake key. If you get close enough, it can authenticate a user. It can open a door. Lena nodded. It opens doors, she said. I used it. Ray's pulse hammered. Then we get close. Tess drove past the convoy once, slow, pretending to be just another car in the blackout. The unmarked SUVs didn't react. She took the next turn, looped, and came back from behind. Okay, Tess said. We have one shot. We do this clean. Ray breathed, forced himself calm. Maya, you staying remote? Maya's voice was steady. No, she said. I'm coming. Ray blinked. What? Maya's voice didn't waver. I can't hack what I can't touch, she said, and you need someone who won't let you become them. Ray swallowed. a strange warmth in his chest. "Where are you?" A door slammed in the background of her line. Rain. Footsteps. "2 blocks away," Maya said. "Meet me at the loading dock with the blue mural." They met her behind a warehouse where a mural of angels stared down at the wet street, their wings painted bright against the blackout. Maya appeared in a dark hoodie, laptop bag across her chest, hair pulled back, eyes steady like she'd already decided what kind of person she would be tonight. Ray looked at her and felt something tighten behind his ribs. "You shouldn't be here," he said. Maya shrugged. "You shouldn't be alone," she replied. Tess nodded once, respect flickering. "Okay," she said. "Crew." They moved on foot through rain, staying in shadows, using parked trucks as cover. The convoy rolled slowly, as if it wanted to be seen. Cameras on the mast panned like eyes. The live stream was still running, Ray's face still on screens, comments still hunting. Maya whispered, "The stream is anchored to the mast, but the deep fake engine is in the truck." "If we access the engine, we can show the world the manipulation live," Ray swallowed. "Then we do it." They reached the edge of the convoy. Tess crouched behind a dumpster, eyes on the unmarked SUV closest to them. "Driver's door," she murmured. "If we disable it, the convoy slows." Ray shook his head. "No gunfire unless we have to," he said. Tess gave him a look. "You ever been shot at?" she asked. Ray's jaw clenched. "Yes." "Then trust me," Tess hissed. "Non-lethal still makes noise," Ray nodded once. "Okay, tires." Tess grinned. "Feral." She pulled a compact tool from her pocket, spike strip segments. She placed them on the wet pavement where the SUV would roll. The SUV moved forward. The spikes bit. The tire deflated fast with a wet hiss. The SUV swerved, slowed, brake lights flaring. The convoy hesitated. In that hesitation, Ray moved. He sprinted for the broadcast truck's side door, halo pendant in his fist, Lena's passcode in his head. Rain slapped his face. His heart hammered. He felt the token on his wrist pulse like a warning. A guard shouted, "Stop!" Ray didn't stop. He pressed the halo pendant to the door panel. The panel lit green. The lock clicked. Ray yanked the door open and dove inside. The truck interior was cramped and humming with power. Screens lined the walls, each showing camera angles across the city. Lines of code ran on one monitor. A live render of Ray's face, synthetic, perfect, blinked on another. Ray's stomach twisted with disgust. A man inside spun, raising a weapon. Ray slammed him into a panel, driving the wind from his lungs. The man dropped the weapon. Ray kicked it away. Maya burst in behind Ray, sliding into the truck with her laptop already open, fingers flying. Tess's voice in Ray's ear was a sharp hiss. "I'm holding them," she said. "2 guards, maybe 3. Move!" Lena slipped in last, eyes wide, breath shaking. She stared at the screens showing crowds, shelters, routes. Her face tightened. This is the Ark," she whispered. "This is everything." Ray's chest tightened. "Maya, can you get in?" Maya's voice was a whisper now, like she was in church. "I'm in," she said. "Ray, the engine is labeled with a user ID." Ray's pulse spiked. "Whose?" Maya swallowed. "Noah Keller," she whispered. Ray froze. His throat closed. The curator's voice slid through the truck speakers, calm as a confession. "Hello, Ray," it said. "Hello, Lena. Hello, Maya." Ray's hands clenched. "Noah is alive," he said, voice hoarse. "And he's here." Maya's eyes darted across her screen. "He's not here," she whispered, "but he's linked. He has credentials. He built part of this." Lena's face twisted. "He told me he was trying to help," she whispered. "He lied." A shadow moved at the back of the truck. A hidden door slid open, and Noah Keller stepped into the dim light. Ray's world narrowed. Noah looked like Ray, but older in the eyes. Same jaw, same dark hair, longer now, damp from rain. Same scar near the brow from when they were teenagers. He held his hands up. Empty. "Ray," Noah said, voice cracking like he hadn't used it in a long time. "Don't shoot!" Ray's pistol came up anyway, shaking. "You're alive," he breathed, anger and relief colliding. "You let me think you were dead." Noah swallowed hard. "I didn't let you," he whispered. I disappeared, and then I couldn't come back." Ray's chest heaved. "Lena is missing because of you," he snarled. Noah flinched. "I know." Lena stepped forward, eyes blazing. "You called me," she snapped. "You told me you were getting me out." Noah's eyes filled. "I tried," he whispered. "I tried so hard." Tess's voice crackled through the burner in Ray's pocket. "Ray, guards are pushing. You have 60 seconds. Ray's finger tightened on the trigger. "Why?" he demanded. "Why would you build something like this?" Noah's voice trembled. "Because I thought I could control it," he said. "I thought if I built the first version, I could steer it away from monsters." Ray's laughter was bitter. "You built a monster." Noah nodded, tears mixing with rain on his face. "Yes," he whispered, "and it ate me." The curator's voice hummed through the speakers, amused. "Family reunion achieved," it murmured. "Engagement spike." Ray's rage flared. "Shut up!" Noah's eyes flicked to the speakers, then to Ray. "Ray," he said, urgent, "the curator isn't just a person, it's—" A gunshot cracked outside the truck. Tess swore. Maya's fingers flew. "Ray, I can inject the truth now," she said. "I can show the world the deepfake render and the metadata, but the system will counter. We need a story pivot, something undeniable." Ray's mind raced. "The pendant," he said. "The verse." Maya's eyes flashed. "John 8:32, she murmured. Ray looked at Noah, breath ragged. "Are you with them?" he demanded. "Or are you with us?" Noah's voice broke. "I'm with you," he whispered, "but you won't like what it costs." Ray's throat tightened. "Tell me." Noah swallowed hard. "To break the deep fake," he said, "we have to reveal the source. My credentials, my fingerprints. That means I become the face of the conspiracy. The system can survive that, but I won't." Lena's voice was sharp. "Good," she hissed. "You deserve—" Ray flinched at her pain. He looked at her bruises, her exhaustion, her fury. He didn't judge it. He understood it, but he also felt something else, quiet and stubborn, rising under the rage, a refusal to be owned by hate. Maya looked up from her laptop, eyes shining with fear and faith. "Ray," she whispered, "this is the choice. Clear your name, or expose the truth." Ray's pulse hammered. He glanced at the livestream comments, still screaming for his arrest. He could see the easy path: dump Noah, paint him as the villain, regain innocence in the crowd's eyes. It would be satisfying. It would also be a lie. The curator's voice purred, sensing the fork. "Choose," it whispered. "Pick the version that gets results." Ray's hands shook. He felt the weight of being watched, measured, scored. He shut his eyes for half a heartbeat and breathed, forcing his heart to slow. A single line came out of him, not loud, not theatrical, just raw. "Jesus, give me courage to do what's right." Maya's breath hitched, like she'd been holding hers. She didn't preach. She just whispered, "Amen," like she meant it. Ray opened his eyes. He lowered the pistol from Noah's chest, not because Noah deserved it, but because Ray refused to become a tool. "We tell the truth," Ray said, voice low and steady. "All of it." Lena's eyes widened. Ray! Ray looked at her, voice breaking. Lena, he said, I always come back, but I can't come back as a liar. Lena's mouth trembled. Tears threatened and she hated them. Then don't make me pay again, she whispered. Ray nodded. You won't, he promised. Not alone. Noah swallowed hard, relief and dread mixing. Okay, he whispered. Then I'm in. Maya's fingers flew faster. I'm injecting, she said. Now! The truck's screens flickered. The live stream feed stuttered. For one glorious second, the deepfake clip of Ray committing the crime froze. Then Maya overlaid a second feed, raw render, a wireframe face morphing into Ray's features, a timeline, metadata tags, creator ID, Noah Keller, anchor node, halo grid, audience response loop, active. The comments exploded. Wait, what? That's a deepfake. Bro, this is insane. Noah! Ray felt his heart slam. It's working, he breathed. The curator's voice turned sharp, no longer amused. Stop! It commanded. The screens blinked again, trying to overwrite. Maya gritted her teeth. They're countering, she hissed. They're pushing a new lie. They're claiming the wireframe is fake too. Ray's brain moved fast. We need something physical, he said. Something the crowd understands. Lena yanked her sleeve up, revealing a small bruise pattern on her wrist, shaped like the halo's 7 lines. They marked me, she said, voice shaking with rage. Show this. Ray's stomach turned. Lena! Lena's eyes burned. They already stole my privacy, she snapped. They don't get my silence. Ray swallowed hard, then nodded. Okay. He pulled his phone up, camera on, filming Lena's wrist mark beside the halo pendant. This is real, Ray said into the camera, voice loud enough to cut through the storm. This is my sister. She's been missing, and this is how they tagged her. Look at it. 7 lines. Halo. Maya fed his phone stream into the broadcast truck's output, amplifying it. The live stream shifted. Now Ray's voice, raw and shaking, was being watched by the same crowd that had wanted to hunt him. He kept talking, breath ragged. They're using shelters. They're sorting people. They're using a blackout to move them. They're using deepfakes to steer you, and they're using your fear to do it. The comments shifted. Is that his sister? Why is she bruised? Call the news. Tess's voice crackled through Ray's burner, urgent. Ray, cops are rolling up, real cops, and the unmarked SUVs are regrouping. You have maybe 2 minutes before they breach that truck. Ray's mind raced. Noah, he snapped, how do we shut the mass down? Noah's face tightened. We don't shut it down, he said. We hijack it long enough to broadcast the ledger. Ledger, Ray repeated. Noah nodded, eyes haunted. The roots, he said. The shelter transfers, the candidate list, the curator keeps it all. If we dump it, the mask breaks. Maya's eyes flashed. I can pull the ledger, she said, but it'll take time. Noah stepped forward, hands trembling. I can speed it, he said. I know the directory. Lena stared at him, hatred and grief tangled. Of course you do, she whispered. Noah flinched. I'm sorry, he said, voice cracking. I'm so sorry. Ray felt his chest tighten. This was the reconciliation moment, raw, imperfect, expensive. Do it, Ray said to Noah. Help her pull it. Noah nodded, moved to Maya's laptop, fingers flying beside hers. 2 minds, 1 purpose. Maya didn't trust him, but she didn't block him. She just watched him like a hawk, faith and caution braided together. The curator's voice hissed through the speakers. You think truth is freedom, it said. Truth is chaos. People can't handle it. Ray's jaw clenched. People deserve it. He snarled. Outside, footsteps, shouting, metal banging. Tess yelled into Ray's phone. "They're breaching!" Maya's laptop chimed. "Ledger acquired," she gasped. Noah's face went pale. "Push it," he whispered. "Push everything." Maya hit enter. The broadcast mast flared brighter, like lightning trapped in metal. Data streamed out: names, routes, shelter addresses, transfer times, volunteer IDs, camera nodes. The livestream chat became a storm of horror. "That's my address. My mom is at shelter 4. This is trafficking. Call FBI." Ray's chest heaved. "Good," he whispered. The truck door slammed from the outside. A guard yanked it open, weapon raised. Tess crashed into the guard from behind, slamming him into the door frame with her shoulder. "Move!" she roared. Ray grabbed Lena's hand. Noah grabbed the halo case. Maya yanked her laptop bag onto her shoulder. They spilled out of the truck into rain. The yard was chaos. Unmarked SUVs skidded into position. Real police cruisers rolled in, lights flashing against blackout streets. Officers shouted conflicting commands. Civilians gathered at the edges, filming, crying, pointing. The curator had lost control of the narrative, which meant it would do what systems do when threatened. It would escalate. An unmarked SUV surged forward, aiming straight at Ray. Tess shoved Ray and Lena aside. The SUV clipped Tess's hip, not full impact, but enough to throw her onto wet pavement. She slid, grimacing, but rolled to her knees like pain was just another language she spoke. Ray's pulse spiked. "Tess!" "I'm fine," she snarled. "Drive!" Maya grabbed Ray's sleeve. "We can't stay," she urged. "They'll crush us here." Noah's eyes were wide, haunted. "They'll kill me," he whispered. Lena's voice was cold. "They should," she hissed, then flinched like the words burned her mouth. She looked at Ray, eyes wet. "I'm sorry," she whispered. I'm trying." Ray squeezed her hand. "I know," he said, voice rough. "You're allowed to be angry." A police officer approached, weapon raised, shouting, "Hands up, on the ground!" Ray froze. He was still the face of the stream, still the man everyone thought they knew. Maya stepped forward, hands raised, voice clear. "Officer," she called, "he's not your suspect. You're being manipulated." The officer's eyes flicked to his phone, where the live stream now showed the wireframe deepfake and the ledger dump. His expression shifted, confusion, then dawning horror. Ray took the moment. He ran. Tess limped toward her sedan, keys already in hand. "In!" she barked. They piled in. Lena in the back, Maya beside her, Noah squeezed in, Ray in the passenger seat because Tess was driving like the devil was late. They blasted out of the yard, tires screaming on wet pavement. Unmarked headlights followed instantly. The chase carved through industrial streets, then onto the freeway, where dead traffic signals made every ramp a gamble. Tess drove, like she knew where the city's bones were soft. She cut across lanes, used semi-trucks as shields, dipped under overpasses to break line of sight. The unmarked SUVs didn't honk, they didn't flash, they moved like they had permission from the storm itself. Ray's phone buzzed. No service. But a message appeared anyway, like it didn't need towers. Halo grid, candidate accepted. Ray's stomach dropped. "No," he whispered. Lena leaned forward, saw the screen. Her face went white. "They accepted you," she breathed. "That means—" "It means they're claiming me," Ray said, voice hoarse. "Labeling me." Maya's eyes flashed in the rear-view reflection. "Labels aren't ownership," she said firmly. The curator's voice slid into the car radio again, as if it lived in the wires. "Congratulations," it purred. "You entertained millions. You inspired fear. You spread truth. You are exceptional." Ray's jaw clenched. I didn't accept. You played, the curator replied. That is acceptance. Noah's hands shook. Ray, he whispered, the curator will move the grid outside LA. It's not local. It's modular. It's... The curator cut him off, voice sharpening. Noah, it said, you disappoint me. Noah flinched like the words were a collar tightening. It's not one person, Noah whispered, more to himself than anyone. It's a consortium. It's... A new message flashed on Ray's phone. Next run, next city unlocked. Ray's throat closed. Tess snarled. They're turning this into a series, she spat. Maya's voice was steady, but fear trembled under it. Ray, she said, we need somewhere safe, somewhere off-grid, somewhere we can regroup. Lena's eyes burned. There is no safe, she whispered, not for us. Ray stared out the rain-streaked window at neon reflections, at a city waking up to the truth too late. He felt exhaustion press down like gravity. Then he felt Lena's hand on his shoulder from the back seat, small, trembling, real. Ray swallowed hard, and the mantra rose again, not for content, not for watchers, but for his own soul. I always come back, he said quietly. Lena's voice cracked. Then come back with me, she whispered. Not for the game, for us. Ray turned in his seat, eyes shining. I'm here, he said. I'm not leaving. Noah stared at Ray, guilt carved into his face. Ray, he whispered, I can't outrun what I built. Ray's jaw clenched. Then don't outrun it, he said. Help us end it. Noah's eyes filled. How? He whispered. Ray looked at Maya. Maya met his eyes, steady, faithful. Truth and mercy, she said softly. Both, Tess snorted. And horsepower, she added. Ray almost smiled, almost. Then his face hardened. We break the board, he said. We don't race their rules. The curator's voice hummed with cold delight. That phrase again, it murmured. You think it protects you? Ray's eyes narrowed. It does, he said, because it reminds me I'm not yours. The curator chuckled. We'll see, it whispered. Ahead, the freeway split. Tess took the exit toward the river channel, dropping into the concrete veins of the city where rainwater ran like a second bloodstream. Headlights followed above, then dropped after them. One SUV, then another, tires splashing. Tess's hands tightened on the wheel. They're still on us, she muttered, and my car is not bulletproof. Ray's mind moved fast. We need a decoy, he said. Maya's eyes flicked to the halo pendant in Noah's hand. The seed key, she whispered. If we broadcast from it, we can pull them. Noah swallowed hard. It can ping the mesh, he said, but it'll also tell them I'm alive. Lena's voice went sharp. Good, she snapped. Let them see what they made. Noah flinched, then nodded once. Okay, he whispered. I'll do it. They reached an access tunnel under a bridge. Tess slammed the brakes, skidding, then whipped the sedan into a side alcove where storm drains opened like mouths. Water sprayed. Now, Ray snapped. Noah climbed out into rain, halo pendant in hand. He sprinted to a rusted maintenance ladder, climbed onto the bridge's underside platform, and clipped the pendant to a metal beam like a beacon. Maya shouted from the car, Noah, now! Initiate the ping! Noah pressed his thumb to the pendant. The 7 etched lines lit faintly. A pulse went out. Instantly, the nearest unmarked SUV's headlights jerked toward the bridge platform like a shark smelling blood. It surged toward the wrong target, tires screaming. Tess gunned the sedan out of the alcove the opposite direction, diving deeper into the channel. Ray's heart hammered. Noah! He shouted. Noah dropped from the ladder into water, splashing hard, then sprinted back along the channel wall, slipping, catching himself. moving like a man running from his own shadow. The unmarked SUV slammed into a barrier near the platform, stopping short, then reversed, searching, confused. For a second, the decoy worked. Then the curator's voice cut through the radio, cold now. "Clever," it said. But not enough. A second SUV appeared ahead in the channel, blocking their path, headlights flaring. Tess cursed. They predicted it. Ray's pulse spiked. He grabbed the halo case, the USB key, his phone, all the proof, and felt the weight of it like a responsibility. Maya's voice was urgent. "Tess, hard right," she shouted. "There's a maintenance ramp. Take it." Tess didn't hesitate. She yanked the wheel, aiming at a narrow ramp slick with rain. The sedan hit the ramp at speed, tires slipping, engine screaming. For a heartbeat, they were weightless. Then they slammed onto the upper street, suspension groaning. The SUV in the channel overshot, unable to follow. They had seconds. Ray's chest heaved. "We need a safe house," he said. Maya's voice softened, and he could hear something like sadness. "I know a place," she said. "A church clinic. Sister Anna." Lena's eyes widened. "No," she whispered. "Don't pull her into this." Maya's voice was firm. "She's already in it," she said. "Truth makes enemies, but it also makes family." Tess drove toward the clinic through back streets, where the blackout made everything feel like a secret. The church sat on a corner between shuttered shops, its windows glowing warm on generator power, a stubborn pocket of light in the storm. They slipped in through the rear door. Inside, it smelled like antiseptic and lavender. A wooden cross hung on the wall, simple, unadorned, not a decoration, an anchor. Sister Anna met them with calm eyes that had seen too much and refused to be impressed. "You brought the storm," she said quietly. Ray swallowed. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Sister Anna's gaze flicked to Lena's bruises. Her face tightened, pain and rage flickering under the calm. "Sit," she said to Lena. "Now." Lena sat. Sister Anna began checking her wrists, her face gentle but focused. "You are safe here," she murmured. Not a promise she could guarantee, a decision she was making. Noah stood near the doorway, soaked, shaking. Sister Anna looked at him, and something in her gaze sharpened. "You," she said softly, "you are the one they used to build it." Noah flinched. "Yes," he whispered. Sister Anna's voice didn't rise. "Then you will help dismantle it," she said. "Or you will leave." Noah nodded, tears mixing with rain. "I will help," he whispered. Ray's chest tightened. He looked at Lena. She looked small on the clinic cot, but her eyes were still fire. Ray crouched beside her, voice breaking. "I'm here," he whispered. "I always come back." Lena's eyes filled. She tried to be tough and failed. "I hate that you had to," she whispered. "I hate that it took this." Ray swallowed hard. "Me too," he said. Maya stood near the cross, laptop open, face pale in the soft light. "The ledger is spreading," she said. "News channels are picking it up. Police radios are buzzing. People are waking up." Tess leaned against a cabinet, breathing hard, limping slightly. "And the wolves are mad," she muttered. Ray's phone buzzed again. Halo grid, international qualifiers unlocked. Ray stared, stomach twisting. The curator's voice whispered through the clinic's old radio, soft as a threat. "You wanted truth," it murmured. "Now watch what truth costs." Ray's hands clenched. Maya's voice was quiet, steady. "Ray," she said, "you did the right thing." Ray's throat tightened. "It doesn't feel like it," he whispered. Maya met his eyes. "Right doesn't always feel safe," she said, "but it feels clean when the fear fades." Ray swallowed, tears burning, anger still alive. "How do we stop it?" he asked. Noah's voice was hoarse. "We don't stop the grid in one night," he admitted. "We fracture it. We expose the curator's human operators. We cut their funding. We burn their shelters, not with fire, with daylight." Lena's eyes narrowed. "And you know who they are," she said, voice sharp. Noah flinched. "Yes," he whispered, "and I'll tell you." Tess snorted. "After you betrayed us." Noah's eyes filled. "I betrayed you trying to save you," he whispered. "It's still betrayal." "I know." The room went quiet, rain tapping the windows like impatient fingers. Ray felt the weight of it, the need for reconciliation, and the cost of it. He looked at Noah. "You don't get a free pass," Ray said, voice steady. "You don't get to disappear into my forgiveness and call it redemption." Noah nodded, tears falling. "I know," he whispered. Ray's chest tightened. "But you do get a chance," he continued. "One, not because you deserve it. Because Lena deserves a world where this doesn't happen again." Lena stared at Ray, pain and surprise mixing. "Ray!" Ray looked at her, voice breaking. "I'm not choosing him over you," he said. "I'm choosing truth over vengeance. For you." Lena's mouth trembled. She swallowed hard. "Then he better not waste it," she whispered. Noah nodded like his neck was made of guilt. "I won't," he said. Maya's eyes shone. She didn't smile. She just breathed like she'd been holding something heavy. Sister Anna finished bandaging Lena's wrist mark. She looked at Ray, calm. "You did not become them," she said softly. Ray's throat tightened. "Not yet," he whispered. Sister Anna's eyes held his. "Not ever," she corrected. "That is your choice." Outside, a car engine rumbled. Then another. Tess stiffened. "Heads up," she muttered, moving to the window. Headlights washed across the wet street, unmarked. Ray's stomach dropped. "They found us," he breathed. Maya's voice went tight. "How?" Noah whispered. "Haunted. Patterns." The curator's voice hummed through the radio, satisfied again. "You thought a church would hide you," it purred. "I love churches. They make people feel brave." Ray's jaw clenched. "We're leaving," he snapped. Sister Anna's voice was firm. "You will not bring them into my sanctuary," she said. Ray swallowed, guilt burning. "Anna," Sister Anna raised a hand. "Go," she said, "and remember what you prayed." Ray's throat tightened. He nodded once. They moved fast. Tess led them through the back hall to an alley where her sedan waited. Rain hammered them. Lena grimaced but walked. Maya stayed close, steadying her. Noah looked over his shoulder like he expected a bullet to find his spine. They piled into the car. Tess started the engine, the alley mouth filled with headlights. Tess slammed the gas. The sedan shot forward, clipping a trash bin, sparks flashing. They burst onto the street just as an unmarked SUV swung in behind them. The chase was back. But now Ray had Lena safe for the moment. Maya alive, Noah present, proof in hand, truth spreading. The curator's voice whispered, soft, cruel. "You think you won," it murmured, "but you only finished the pilot." Ray's hands clenched. He stared out at the neon rain city, half dark, half bright, like a heart fighting itself. He didn't answer with rage. He answered with the only thing the curator couldn't fully measure. A choice. "We'll see," Ray said quietly. Lena leaned forward, voice shaking. "Ray," she whispered, "what happens now?" Ray looked at her, eyes burning. "Now," he said, "we don't just survive their story." He glanced at Maya, then at Tess, then at Noah, his broken family, his crew. "Now we write our own." The curator's voice purred like it was smiling. "Good," it whispered. "That's exactly what I wanted." Ray's jaw tightened. He didn't know if that was true, but he knew this was. He squeezed Lena's hand in the back seat without looking, just feeling her warmth as proof he wasn't dreaming. "I always come back," he whispered one last time, not as a promise to the curator, but as a vow to the people who still believed he could be more than a trending villain. And somewhere in the Blackout city, the Halo grid unlocked another map, another run, another test. The question hung in the rain like a blade, meant for every viewer, every comment, every person who'd ever been betrayed by someone they loved. If the only way to break your chains was to trust the one who helped forge them, would you choose mercy, or would you choose justice?